Hi, my name is Maya. I'm a dealer in Las Vegas, and today we're going to be covering picture bets in roulette. You're probably wondering what a picture bet is and how they can be useful to you. Picture bets are very common bets placed in roulette that you can simply memorize based off how the bet looks. You are essentially taking a mental snapshot of the picture bet so you can tie it to the payout based off how the bet looks. Picture bets are not mandatory to learn, but they can help you get your answers faster with less mistakes and reducing the math that you have to perform. With that being said, let's get into what the most common picture bets look like and how to recognize them and apply them.
Hey everybody, my name is Byron. I'm an instructor at the College of Southern Nevada. Unfortunately, Maya wasn't able to finish the video. She's currently moving at the moment. And as you can tell, so did we. We went from the Crescent School of Gaming over to the College of Southern Nevada, and we're gonna be shooting our lessons from here and maybe even one other location from this point on. So with that being said, let's get into the picture bets. All right, you guys, let's get into it. This is gonna be pretty quick. We're gonna kind of blast through these really fast, so take time to pause in case you need some more time to look at these. We're gonna start with the first one. The first one is what we call a straight in. So it's a split 17, corner 8, that's gonna pay 25. This is one of the foundational ones because if you have multiple bets or multiple spots, you have, for example, 2 corners, 2 splits, that's gonna pay 50 because you have 2 straight ins. Let's get to the next one. Up next, we have Jesus Age. This will work if it's here, it'll work if it's there, it'll work if it's like this and like that. It does not work if it's through the number. And it also does not work if it's touching up there on that top line because those bet spots pay differently at this point. So the other ways work, but that one doesn't. Up next is the outside L. Pretty simple, 2 splits, 1 corner is gonna pay 42. Let's get to the next one. This one is called box. The way that I remember this one is a box is kind of like a box, right? It pays 7, 7. So kind of like, I don't know how to do it, but yeah, 77, put it together, creates a box, there you go. Next one we call V pattern. So we call this V pattern, some people call it Mickey Mouse, and some people like to call it Area 51, because it kind of looks like an A and upside down at this angle, because it pays 51. This one, a very common bet, a V pattern or Mickey Mouse or Area 51 will pay 51. Next one is one of the more common ones that you guys are gonna see. It's called the corner pocket. Some of these names are kind of like when you're playing pool. So corner pocket, 1 straight up, 1 corner, it pays 43. This is a very, very common bet here. Next one up is X pattern. The name comes from the fact that it kind of looks like an X, right? This one is gonna pay 67. This is one of the harder ones to memorize. There's not a whole lot of connections I can really make with this one. I had a difficult time learning this myself, but X pattern will pay 67. Next one is called bowl, B-O-W-L. Now this one I didn't really memorize myself. I actually just looked at it and saw the other picture bet. I saw a straight in here and I saw a straight in over here, which as before, straight ins pay 25. So if I have 25 and 25 is 50 plus that 17. There you go, there's your 67. So bowl will pay 67. Next one of our favorites, is called picture frame. Now a picture frame is gonna cover all 4 corners, all 4 splits, but that's it. There's nothing in the middle and there's nothing up on the line over where the line bets in the streets are. This one is simple. If it covers all 4 corners and all 4 splits, it pays 100. It makes your life easy. So picture frame, 100. Now let's say you had a picture in that picture frame. You guessed it, 135. So this one has a couple of different names, but the one that's most common that I've seen is called full house. Now these names are not all one and done. Depending on the region or where you work, these names might change, just keep that in mind. But here we call this one full house, 135. Up next is railroad. Railroad because it kind of looks like a railroad, right? Now, when it comes to railroad, this does have 2 picture bets inside of it, if that helps you memorize what it is. It has a box for 77 and has a straight in 25. You can add those 2 together, we get 102. So railroad will pay 102. Up next is H pattern. This one is actually one of the easiest ones that you'll find. It's called an H pattern because it looks like an H, right? And this one will actually tell you what it pays. It pays 101. Pretty cool, right? So H pattern pays 101. Up next is the plus pattern. So the plus pattern and the X pattern, they do look kind of similar, except the plus pattern has splits and the X pattern has corners. Splits pay more than corners. So because of this, the X pattern, the plus pattern that we're dealing with here is going to pay 103. The X pattern will pay 67. So the way I remember it, and remember the difference between the two, the plus pattern has splits, which pay more than corners. So the plus pattern will pay more than the X pattern. Up next is the T pattern. T pattern, because it represents a T. 3 splits, 1 straight up. This will pay 86. This one was a little bit difficult for me to memorize when I first learned. So a little trick that I did for myself, it may not work for you, but it worked for me, is when I'm trying to figure this out, I told myself it's a T pattern, so it pays 86. So T pattern, 86. Next up is what we call dinner for two. There's a couple different names, but that's what I was taught to call it. Now this one is what we refer to as dinner for two. The amount that this pays is 69. If some of you laughed, you probably know why it's called dinner for two. Use your imagination if you're not sure why. So we have 2 splits, 1 straight up. That's gonna pay 69. So dinner for two, 69. Up next is one of the more common ones, which we call full deck. Full deck will consist of 1 split, 1 straight up. So it's a 17 and a 35. Together they pay 52. The reason this is called the full deck is because in a full deck of cards, minus the jokers, there are 52 cards in a deck. That's why full deck pays 52. The next one we're going to be covering is called inside L. Inside L is one of the best ones for you to learn because it has a corner, a split, and a straight up, one of each. Anytime you have a bet that has one of all 3 of those, it will pay 60. So if you happen to have more stacked on top, in this case we have 3 per spot, then it's going to be 60 times 3 or 6 times 3 and add a 0. So this right here would pay 180. So you have one of each. Inside L pays 60. Now this next one is called legal age. Now if you have 2 line bets and 1 street bet, that's going to be 10 plus 11 or 21. So legal age pays 21. The next bet we typically call dirty 30. Looks very similar to Jesus age, except we are touching that line up top. So this does not pay 8 anymore. It actually ends up paying 5 because it covers 6 numbers. So we have a straight in 25 plus 5 together 30. Nickname Dirty 30. So Dirty 30 pays 30. Now the last one we're going to cover today is called complete bet. This is actually a fairly common bet that you might see in single zero roulette, although it looks different. So we're starting out with a full house plus a legal age. Now, full house pays 135, legal age will pay 21. So you add those 2 together, you get 156. Now, in this is every single way that you can bet a single number on right in the middle between 5 and 32. So complete bet, every single bet you possibly can make that touches that number between 5 and 32, complete bet pays 156. Let's take it back over to Maya to finish off the video.
If you guys found value in our content and would like to contribute to help us make more of our content, you could click the link down in the description and buy us a coffee. If you guys want to see the next video in our series, it'll be right up here.